All right, let's dive into a book that's practically legendary, one that's been credited with creating more millionaires than almost any other, Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. Today, we're going to boil down its core wisdom into a real, practical blueprint for success. So where does it all begin? Well, it starts with something surprisingly simple, a single thought.
This quote right here, this is the heart of the entire book. Hill's big revolutionary idea is that every huge fortune, every world-changing invention, it doesn't start with money or connections. It starts as an idea, a thought in someone's head. I mean, think about it, right? If you can't even imagine success in vivid detail, how are you ever going to make it happen? So the real question is, how do you turn a simple thought into a force of nature?
So, how do we make our thoughts genuinely powerful? Hill is super clear on this. Just kind of wanting something, that's not going to cut it. You need what he calls a burning desire. And this isn't just a wish, it's an all-out obsession that consumes you, leaving zero room for doubt. To really get this, let me tell you a quick story.
To really understand this level of commitment, just picture this. There's this great warrior, and he's sailing to fight an enemy that has way more soldiers than he does. He knows, and his men know, the odds are just stacked against them.
So as his soldiers get off the boats and onto the enemy's shore, he doesn't give some big rah-rah speech about bravery. No, he makes a bold, tactical move that basically seals their fate and, in his mind, guarantees they'll win. He ordered them to burn their own ships. Seriously. He told his men, "You see the smoke? That means we're not leaving this place alive unless we win. We have no choice now. We either win or we perish." And faced with that stark reality, guess what? They won. That right there is the power of a burning desire. It's when you completely remove any other option except success.
Okay, so that burning desire, that's your rocket fuel. But even a rocket needs a guidance system, a map. And this is where Napoleon Hill gets incredibly practical. He gives us his famous 6-step method for channeling all that raw desire into actual, tangible results.
And just look at how specific these steps are. It's not about just wanting more money. No, it's about fixing an exact dollar amount you want by a definite date. You're basically making a contract with yourself. And that last step, reading it aloud every day, that's the secret sauce. Hill called it autosuggestion. You're literally reprogramming your subconscious mind to work for you 24/7 to make achieving that goal feel totally inevitable.
So you've got the burning desire, and you've got a solid plan. But what happens when you hit that first big obstacle? Or the second? Or the 10th? This is where the next principle comes in, and it's a big one. Persistence. This is the glue that holds everything together. Honestly, it's the one thing that truly separates the people who make it from those who just give up.
Let me give you a perfect example of this. Henry Ford gets this idea in his head to build a V8 engine, and he had a very specific demand. He wanted the entire engine block cast in a single piece. He told his engineers, and every single one of them came back and said the same thing. "Mr. Ford, it's impossible."
Did Ford care what they thought? Not one bit. His response was just unshakable. He told them to do it anyway. He didn't care how long it took. Failure just wasn't an option he was willing to consider.
For months, his engineers were pulling their hair out. They kept trying, failing, and coming back to him saying, "Boss, it can't be done." But Ford just kept repeating his command. "I want it, and I'll have it." And you know what happened? Eventually, his sheer persistence wore down the idea of impossible. The engineers, finally realizing he would never, ever back down, found a way. They discovered the secret.
That whole story just boils down to this one simple, powerful truth you see here. A winner never quits, and a quitter never wins. The point is, you're only ever truly defeated the moment you accept defeat. As long as you keep going, you're still in the game.
Desire, planning, persistence, these are all incredibly powerful tools. But Hill argues that before you can win any battle out there in the world, you first have to win the war that's happening inside your own mind. The final and maybe the toughest obstacle is you.
I mean, just let that sink in for a second. Indecision, self-doubt, fear, those are the real enemies that will poison any plan, no matter how brilliant it is. You have to take command of your inner world, because if you don't, you can be sure that it will absolutely take command of you.
And to help us fight this inner battle, Hill actually names the main culprits. He calls them the 6 ghosts of fear. And you can see them here. They're the big ones, right? The fear of being poor, the fear of what other people think, the fear of getting sick. He says that just by recognizing these fears, by calling them out by name, you take away so much of their power over you.
So when you boil it all down, everything comes back to that very first powerful idea. Thoughts are things. Every success you'll ever have, everything you'll ever build, will start as a thought in your mind. The plans, the persistence, the opportunities, they all follow the quality of your thoughts. So the only real question left is the one right here on the screen. What thoughts will you choose?